It's like having good cars. Should I go and make the Benz? I think it's a whole idea
it's
like
completely
that.
different.
So it's like I think it's that conversation. Starting the conversation, and remember they're very uncomfortable with you. They are new. They're
nervous.
They're nervous. They are what? So most times my conversation with them usually it's outside. We go out. Usually I cook the tea myself. I take out. We have tea. We sit outside in the compound. And the thing is, I also talk about myself. Because you also want to open up, so she feels like, it's a two-way. Sort of an interview. So most times I say, hey, Mnango, Zomani. So most times is before the background, I'd have gotten a few things about you. So they would have told me, she comes from Ankole, something like that. Then I'll be able to tell, hey, by the way, so I kind of find something that bridges the gap, and then that conversation will start that breaks the ice. And then from there, I tell you about myself. Then I ask you, hey, by the way, do you like this? Do you do this? And really, it's just a move, get to know each other, but also breaking the ice. So that now when you enter into the house, you're not looking at me as my boss. Right. So you're looking at me as, yes, this is the family now I'm into, and like I am, So then, of course, as days go by, of course, I'm watching you. But see, I'm not watching you as a hawk. To say I'm waiting for you to fail. Oh yeah. You know what I mean? I think that is what most of my friends who ask me why I've stayed with, for example, Auntie Florence, for a very long time. I'm like, I don't watch them as a hawk. Like, you don't know how to mop. How dare you not know how to mop? Right. So it's more like saying this is a child, for example, who has come from very fine Rukunjiri. They've never even seen a TV. Or even the floors are completely different. It's not the tiles or even no cement, by the way. It's just a... Exactly. But do they call it the mud floor? The mud and water? Yeah, mud and water. So I think I put myself into that perspective and I say, okay, if she hasn't cleaned well, now my job is to teach her how. Oh, yeah. And like I said, for me, attitude, because there's a maid they brought for me before Aunt Florence. Yeah. When I was talking to her, that first conversation, she gave me attitude, and she kept thinking that, and she even kept saying, by the way, so I kept thinking, okay, this is not a person who is my values and her values. More like you were at her mercy. She was like, she was doing me a favor. Oh, yeah. And then the attitude of, she was like, by the way, smile was going. So anyway, like any baba kwigirizo solo kwiga nanga manzi saga no dala mitu yakoza ngwe vanesa ngomso kunga manzi sijja koza ngwe. This is what she told me. So I'm thinking, but that's the reason I'm bringing you here, for you to help me. Yeah. So I think already even my heart just kind of said, I think as human beings we have that sixth sense. Oh yes, we do. That tells you, this is not the right person for you. But unusually for me, that conversation usually kind of brings out the this might not be the person for you. And I think for me, that's what. But like I say, what drives me is Antina Asamba. Like I'm saying, I need someone who's going to be in my home and feel at home. Not be in my home and feel like they are coming, check a box, Just say into I've washed dishes. Yeah. I need to go, give me my money and I go. I want a person, because you see, after some time I want to be able to say, if I can't pay you this month, you'll understand. Can we actually still be in a good relationship? Yes. Yeah. So because I used to see my mom, and my mom would pay my sometimes stuff. Would you know? Yeah, because sometimes we would know. Oh yeah. Because as we grow, like when I was in S4, S5, because we knew that things were tough at home. So that means it's also even her, she wasn't being paid. She would know. Because they first now look for school fees. But then I know that my mom would have a conversation with her. And then you'd never even know that by the she has not been paid. Oh yeah. Until she gets paid, then you see her say, what? And then my mom would sit down and tell you, by the way, we didn't even have money to pay Auntie Nansamba. We owed her money for like 7 months. Wow. So as I grew up, I was like, she's willing to stay here for 7 months without money. Yeah. I don't think if it was 7 months or what, but like it would be some time, maybe 2 months or 3 months. You would wonder, how does she manage to stay? She would never show you, like none of us would know that she has not been paid. So I said it took a very... You guys have to be so connected for her to stay home, cook for you very good food, like really treat you the way you, without being paid. Yeah. Yet I also lived in homes whereby if the money wasn't there, 1 week late, my goodness, you could clearly tell. So I was like, I pray to God that the people who come into my life get to treat me, or I get to treat them that way. So really, that's really what was guiding me when I was starting off in that direction.
I've had you referring to these ladies as Aunt, Aunt Florence, Aunt Nasamba. Is it something that you started off from home? Were you told that? Okay, you've told me from the time you grew up.
Yes.
Okay, now for my part. Mom says we had maids when I was younger, like that's the age of 2, and she got away with them at around that time. So I didn't really have an experience of house helps until when I was in P6. A teacher came to us in class. You know, I find it so important the schools kids go to beyond class. Do they learn something else?
Yes.
So a teacher came to class and told us to be respectful of maids in our homes. We didn't have a maid then. So I think she told that to us in first term of P6. And I was ready. She had told us, call these people aunt, this and this. So I was ready, because in case I have a maid coming off at home, I'll call them aunt. So P6 holiday, first term, I went back home and I found a house help. She had come with a son. Her name is Sarah. She's the one who had actually called when I was downstairs. So I got home and I got to know her name and started off the way I was told in school. Aunt Sarah. And she would be offended.
Why?
She was complaining that I'm making her feel old.
Oh my God.
She was very dramatic. A very dramatic person who went through highs and lows with her.
Yeah.
She told me, do not ever call me aunt. And then somewhere, because now that time we were in Kasese, and when mom was moving on, because that time she was a house help in a house provided for by the hospital.
The hospital, yeah. So
there was a doctor as well. But when mom was leaving Kasese and she was packing, Sarah was in transition also. She was telling her, will we need this? And my mom is like,
am I going?
I'm going alone. Because she didn't say that to her. I know. But in her head she was like, oh man, I'm going alone. You didn't manage
expectations.
So mom moved to Masaka, and then she had she kept receiving calls, complaints about Sarah. The attitude had changed. She wanted to go with her aunt.
Your mom?
Yes, she wanted to move with my mom. So she finally came to Masaka. That's like 2005. Yeah, is it? Could have been 2005. Then when I was in S2, that's 2007. I think 2007 or 2016, because every Christmas, you know, your parent buys you clothes, does this. My mom would buy stuff for her. She would still get her salary. And then at that time, she had taken her son to school. Like, Sam was our child.
Yes.
We fought.
Or something.
I fought with him. Like, he didn't want me to have my mother's attention. I was competing with him. I would get back from school, and then maybe I want to be with my mom. The boy comes in between us, pushing us. Like, oh my goodness,
so
I'm from school.
Family, yeah.
I'm missing my mother. And you're pushing me away, and my mom wouldn't give you that space or complain as if to say you're a child, you're a maid's child. Exactly. Or you're not part of this. As Sam was our person, even our first experience, we were fighting. Like, I entered the house.
Like a real brother.
Exactly.
Real brother, yes.
And then somewhere around S2, Sarah told mom, stop paying me money. I'm a child here. Because I think she was saying mom paying school fees for her son, she was getting the salary, Christmas shopping comes in, her stuff are there, the son's stuff is there. So when I was in S2, she was like, I'm your daughter. I'm not a maid here. Stop paying me money. At some point when mom took Sam to school and they were asking for the parent's name, of course mom had to tell the truth. Sarah was offended. She said, you should have told them it's your child. It's not. Like, she didn't want anything to feel like she's old.
But already, do you see what that means? That means that actually you are already integrated into your family.
Yeah.
So now, Anna, I am sure when you get married and have your own home, I don't see you treating a maid different, because that's what you've seen.
Exactly.
You've seen respect. You've literally seen integration of these people, and that's what I'm telling you. With that Auntie Nasa, it was the same story.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to do it differently. So I'm assuming if my mom was mean to the maids, I am sure
you just carry it on.
Yes, because that's what I've seen and that's what I know. And to a point that now even my children now. So let me tell you about Auntie Florence. So Auntie Florence actually came at a point when that suitcase life had started.
Oh yeah.
So she actually came, I think I was probably a few weeks pregnant, I didn't know. She came when like I was so busy. I think my body is giving me a different story. Now this maid, and then usually I laugh and say God works in miraculous ways. When the mommy brought for me Florence, I looked at her like this, and my heart just said, not this one. But it's because I think I had hormones.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, my heart just said, because she had a cavera. You know those buveras? I think they used to have peel, the green peel.
Oh right, peel. Yes, and they had calendars, I think.
Thank you. So she had it, and she looked so bad. Like she looked so bad. And then my head was like, Lord, I'm not feeling well.
Take it.
Why her? I told my mom, go try someone else now, because she had come at night.
Yeah.
She came at night. Of course, I couldn't show her that because I knew that I was not raised like that. There's no way I would tell her directly to her face. But I took my mom and said, Mommy, look at her. I don't even think she can walk.
Yeah.
So my mom said, you know what? It's already late. I think it was around 7 or 6. Let her sleep here. Tomorrow I'll take her back to the lady who gave her to me. But where she was, I think she was being, the husband used to beat her. They used to beat her like, they not paid her salary, I think, for the last 6 months. So out of that, I'm like, I think now my whole humanity came back and said, okay, let her stay here. As you're also looking for someone else, because I said, Mommy, the way I'm working, I need someone who is just hitting the road running. My mom said, let her stay here tomorrow. So now the usual me, of course, comes in. So of course now I call her. Of course, she's very timid. She's hiding in the kitchen. So I take her to
because
her room.
she's supposed to be, the subconscious tells her she's supposed to be positioned in that place.
A certain place. So of course I pick her out, but then she's kneeling all the time, like she's literally walking on her knees.
Yeah.
So she was in this, and I was like, this girl has been hurt so much.
Exactly.
So then I'm like, okay, so I don't have the energy now, like to go through that whole interview and whatever. But tomorrow I need to find out what's up with this girl. If they're taking her back, if I can help in any way, I can probably find somewhere she can. Because I had so many friends looking for maids.
Yeah.
But my heart was like, man, I knew what my schedule was. I needed someone who was going to literally become the mother of these children.
Yeah.
These 2 boys. So of course I put her in her bedroom, because usually I have a bedroom for her and everything. And then of course now I tried to make her comfortable sleep. She said, no, I don't want to eat. I'm like, it's okay. Now we go to sleep. Now, I think the following day was a Saturday, so I was sleeping in.
Yeah.
So in my head, I'm like, okay, let me get up, make breakfast for the boys. I was going through it in my head. I think it was already like 7 or 8. I'm like, let me get up. The boys are here. The boys are already up. So I need to go make breakfast, because I'm sure this girl can't.
Yeah.
Guess what? I walk out of my room, and this girl has cleaned my house. I think apparently she woke up around 5:30.
Whoa.
Cleaned my house like it had never been cleaned before. So I'm looking at her. She has washed the clothes. She had prepared porridge for the boy. Like, she had literally done everything.
She didn't even get to wait to ask.
She woke the boys up, because I think Joshua was in P4, P5. I don't remember, but so Joshua, I think, was directing her, telling her this. Now, because she couldn't use the gas cooker, she had to make charcoal stove, prepare the porridge, set the table. Let me tell you, I walked out and I was thinking, this is my home. Wow. The boys were showered, they were neat, everything was in place. So of course now she sees me, she's like, hey, Mommy, of course now she didn't know that I told my mom they should take her back.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't told her that. So I'm looking at her like, this is exactly right. But when I was going to...
It's very proactive.
So when I was going to bed that night, I prayed to God. I said, Lord, you know my schedule, you know my career. Lord, I need you to give me someone. And it's like, God just said, my child, I got this. I swear, Aunt Florence, like from that day.
Look at yourself.
So I kept so now we had that actual real conversation, because I was like, okay, so God has answered my prayers. I was looking for an Auntie Nansamba kind of person.
Yeah.
here she is, no strings attached. Let's have a conversation. So of course,
you know what's surprising me in all this is that I feel like even me at my job, I would wait to see how is stuff done.
Exactly.
But then it's not even 12 hours of your stay, and you're already waking up the kids.
And she didn't even wake me up, you know, because you see, when I was in my bed, laying in my bed, I was thinking, okay, I was doing my schedule in my head, but I had, you know, things, chaos, kachankarano in the background. But I was like, I think the boys today have woken up early. Okay, I think they are hungry. They're about to knock on the door and ask for porridge or something.
You're waiting.
So like I was into the mode of get up and go. So then she's done all this. So I'm like, okay, so the Lord has just answered my prayers.
Yeah.
And then because I think it comes, so we had a conversation. And then of course she told me about how she had been. So she told me about what my mom had just told me before. She used to sleep in the sitting room. They used to beat her. So the man would beat, like she would do something wrong. The man would beat her, or the wife would beat her.
It was both of them.
So then wait for the husband to come back, report. Then they beat her. What? They hadn't paid her for that. Like probably she didn't even know how long she had not been paid. She said, and then she told. So in our whole conversation, so she tells me, actually I get these headaches. I don't know why, but I hope you don't mind. But they are so bad that like I can't do anything. Like I can't even like I will not even wake up.
Yeah.
Because they are so bad. So of course I was like, of course I'm like, what? Why? She also has no idea. So like I think from there I kept my husband has migraines.
Yeah.
So he also goes through those. So I told her, you know what? Tata Joshua has those, you know, headaches and whatever. I hope they're not the same, but we'll figure out something, because he also has things he does for these headaches. So already now you see, I already made a connection between him and my family, because now I was like, if she has a migraine, I already know how to treat my husband's migraine.
You make her feel like it's not foreign.
Yes. But I realized that what she told me was she was so scared. She was like, my God, I'm going to lose this car job also. So I had to make her, you know, like calm down and say it's okay. Then usually after in my conversations, then we go to her vision. What's your vision?
Oh,
like, and when I told her that from much, I think I said change even without knowing change. Because you know, I would tell her, okay, so Florence, how old are you? She didn't even know how old she was. She really didn't even know her birthday. And then of course now this tells you that this is already a damaged person. She's already damaged. So maybe she's coming to my life for me to do better. So I said, what do you want? Like if there's something that God should do for you, what is it that you want? She said, nze mukama waba ina kyankoledde musaba ekintu kimu nsobola okuzimbira bama wange ennyumba. I was like, okay. Say kyekituyagala n'agamba nsenga mama nsobola okuzimbira ennyumba n'abeera mu nnyumba nze Katonda bwe kimu ajja kuba akyenkoledde. And of course I was like, ate okusoma nagamba nze lekerawo okusoma olw'omutwe guno n'ebyokusoma sibyagala, baganda bange baafa baleka abaana, so njagala kufuna kasente basasula school fees. So I said, so she had two dreams of hers, to see her nieces and nephews go to school. So now for me usually that's what I pick up on. And I say, okay, now how do I make your dream come true? Because when you make someone's dream come true, it's called more like what in B&I we call giver's gain. You know, you only get from the universe what you put back into it.
The energy that you give.
Exactly. So I said, of course I didn't promise to build the house, because you see by then I also didn't know.
You're not sure how far you'll go.
But you see, I was willing now to help her get to that level. So meaning that now I had to start telling her, okay, now Auntie Florence, money, how do we save money, how do we do this? You know, try to push
you even
her. Because
took her through the savings.
Why? Because she had already told me her dream. Now for you to help someone's dream, you need to know what the dream is. So now because of that, I was able to tell her to gulewa account, you know, something like that. And then I say, once you profile someone like that, you're able to know who she is. And one of the things usually I do during that conversation is I ask them, Chicho Tayaga, what is that one thing you don't want people to like? What is it that I hate it when people do this? She told me, I hate it when people embarrass me in public, or abuse me, or you know, like if I've done something wrong, and then in public you start, you know, how can like rebuking me in public? And let me tell you, even up to this moment, I do not rebuke Florence in public because she told me. And then I also get to share my side. I say, you know,
I've never even seen you do anything. Like, I mean, we're on family gatherings, she comes around. But mostly, the one thing that is really stuck in my head is that she is with her children. stupid. You are on your own, for you're with your siblings. She's
with my children. She's with my children.
Her children, not even yours.
They're no longer my children.
They're not yours, because there's a time when I was like, but Nyakwera, you left them. And she was chasing down Dylan, running around with something hot.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So usually because of that, now we get to know what does Aunt Florence want, what does she want. And then she also gets to know what does Mommy want, what does she not want. To a point that, by the way, when I'm in my bedroom and someone comes looking for me, she'll even tell me, Mommy,
oh yeah.
Taina sente. You know, like, we get to that level whereby, you know, I literally tell her.
Even communicate.
I tell her, by the Florence, and we all know.
Yeah.
But it also comes out from a point of respect. We respect each other.
And
because
trust.
But you see now, it's trust is built over a period of time.
Exactly.
But trust comes from credibility. One is, did you keep the word? Your word.
Yeah.
I told you I don't want to be rebuked in public, so I don't rebuke her in public. So she starts not trusting what I say. So now we also started going into the point of saying, when you say you're going to your home, because we sit down and we say, oh, you want to go home? How long?
Oh, yes.
So initially, I think she had started with saying, next Saturday she would spend 2 weeks. So when she would come back, we'd have that conversation.
Yeah.
And say, you promised me that you're going this. Because you see, I also have a job. I tell my boss for 3 days I'll be off because
a schedule.
So, but you see, the thing is, it comes from learning. Now, remember, she didn't know. Now, instead of me being angry and saying, you went for 3 weeks, now I'm going to chase you away.
She wouldn't be confident to say the weeks.
Exactly. Yeah, then I realized that actually probably she was scared that if she said 3 weeks, I would know maybe she'll lose her job or something. So after, of course, I said, you keep learning each other. Now, in due course, we started learning each other, and then I'll tell her, so Florence, and then I'll be free to give them to her. But then I say, okay, plan B,
yeah.
In the meantime, I have to pay them. So how about, you know, so we usually say, do we pick from your salary? So, because also she needed to know that if I also don't work, they're going to pick money off my salary. You understand? Yet I need to pay the salary. So now we said, now coming to that realization that, okay, you know, when we are here, we need to make each other, you know, respect each other's, you know, time and job. So now in due course we started learning. So we say, setting our time, we say, okay, every Easter you go for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Every Christmas you will go for so many days.
Yeah.
If you lose so we even go to a point where you will not be barring like everyone. Jaja wasenga wakoja, you know, because usually they have those Jaja wasenga wakoja. But it all came from communicating.
Yeah.
So I say that you choose the people. You know how you say my mother, my father, my this, yes. So that you know it also doesn't affect me. And I would say if it can wait until your leave time, please push it to your leave time.
Yeah.
So I think for me that is one of the things that has kept us together. Because she knows exactly what I want. She even knows how I'll react. Most times she'll even come and tell her, Mommy, because you see, I respect her enough to know that she's human.
Yeah.
She has her weaknesses, I have my weaknesses. So I cannot use her weaknesses to, for example, cut her salary.
Exactly.
I need to show what have I done to help her improve in the weak areas. Are those areas that can be improved anyway? Okay. And I think once she saw that, you know, I was there more to ensure that both of us benefit from this relationship, I think now she started to trust to a point that now even when you tell her go home, she will say, Mommy, let me go for 1 week and I'll go another week. Yes.
Oh yeah.
You know, because now she knows. And we built a relationship of so much trust that
and support.
So when we used to go to the village, my in-laws in Chitagata. So I would go with her. And then I would not even wake up in the morning. She would wake up, do everything for the kids.
Yeah. Cook
for the milk, like everything. And my mother kept asking, where did you get this girl from? And I don't know how to tell people this, that I don't think that she's the best maid ever. Or I am the best employer ever.
Do you even, does it, unless for the part where you are making a payment, does it keep coming back to your head that this is a maid?
No, but I just said that I think what we did from the beginning was to build a relationship. And for me, I think with a maid, you need to have a relationship. When my friends tell me their maids beat their children, most times I be honest with them. I say you need to first go and analyze your relationship with your maid. Why? Because when Florence came, well, some of the things we discussed was I was like, you know, I have these 4 children. You know, they're children.
Yeah.
What do you think about children? She says, oh, children can be stubborn. Children can I say, how would you discipline a child? So don't be like, don't beat my children. Don't. You understand?
Oh, so you want to find her mode of discipline.
Yes. He says, you know, then you kind of have that conversation. And sometimes you know mukuba. Now to a point that now Florence would beat my children in my presence.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen her do something to Dylan when she was playing with fire.
Bring the sapatu,
and
I am here. Why? Because we've reached a point of knowing that you're not disciplining a child. I don't even know how to phrase it. It's more of like, this is your child. If you're disciplining your child, how would you discipline them?
Yeah.
So we've had that conversation that even if you beat him,
so you trust her. You
get
to trust what she's going to do with the children.
But also she trusts that when she disciplines the children, I am not going to run her over.
Oh yes.
You beat my children. No. The thing is, as long as the objective of you punishing the child are very clear.
Yeah.
So Dylan, you were supposed to do this, you didn't do this. What do we do? Because children talks to them.
Yeah.
He says, Dylan, what did I tell you? Do this and this. If not, then... And I'm there, and by the way, I'm continue. Even then, they know by the way. They even know that mommy is not going to say anything.
Yeah.
But because I've trusted her enough to know that the way she'll discipline them when I am there is I should discipline them even when
you're not
there,
around.
Where I'm not there. Because we have had that conversation of knowing when a child does this. And most times she also knows that she says, no, today I'm going to report you to mommy.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So she'll even say, mommy, I think you need to punish him because this and this and this. And the punishment you should give him, not TV for a week. She'll even tell me, not TV for a week. Because now she has also got to learn the reason for punishing a child is not to hurt, but it's really just to make sure the children understand
the consequences for everything that you do.
But I think still, like I said, you grow through it. It's not a one-day thing. But my advice to someone who is getting a new maid is the first thing is remove all the glasses you have on your eyes.
The bias.
Just know this is a human being who didn't wake up to want to be a maid, who has probably parents or who had parents who had dreams and visions for them.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, here, I don't know if it's, but also sometimes maybe that is how God made it, that your path and their path are going to work.
Could just be part of a story.
Now, most times I put myself in a privileged position. I say, I am here, I'm privileged. I have money, I have education, I have everything.
Yeah.
How can I impact this young girl? So I look at it from that angle, and that's why I say I have that conversation. Because now we've started having a conversation of Aunt Flores, because she's been here for 12 years. I'm like, okay, now I think it's time for you to start thinking about having children, marriage, because now...
Have you brought her onto that page that she actually wants these?
No, that's what I'm saying, that it's now, because you know, when you're starting, you're talking about conversation of what are your dreams.
Yes.
Then I've seen her, because she has built her mother a house. She's paid for...
High five, please.
She's paid for those nieces and whatever
and
school fees.
Yeah.
So now I tell her, now, Auntie Florence, I think it's time for you to start taking care of yourself. Okay? As in, okay, now what is it that you want to do for yourself? She says, okay, I think I need to have my own house. I'm like,
wow.
So now we start the conversation with Auntie Florence.
Feminist.
You're growing, you know.
Yeah.
You know you love children. Because after I had my last born, she kept saying, hey, mommy, now I'm bored when he had gone to school. I am home, I'm not doing anything. You have another child. So now I said, okay, now it's time for us to start having that conversation. Of my part is done, please. So now we start having that conversation of saying, now you
have another child.
So for me, I really call Aunt Florence my unsung hero.
Yeah.
Because that life of living out of the suitcase, it was so bad that one time, even my mother, I came home and said, basically the maid is the mother of the children.
Oh yeah.
But at least she didn't have any negative thing to say. Maybe she's beating the children or she's not giving them. She was actually praising them. She was appreciative of the maid. But she was like, but you're their mother. You know?
Yeah.
So to a point that one time I traveled to the US, and then they gave one of the children, I think, who felt so sick, was admitted.
Yeah.
I think the day I landed is the day the child was admitted. They didn't even tell me. So you know, I would call her, because usually I would call her to talk to the kids. I just realized that she was just uncomfortable. You know, like you're trying to hide something, and then, because I think my mom had said we cannot tell her.
Oh yeah. Because
she was just, when I had to spend 2 weeks. So the child spent a whole week in the hospital.
Wow.
And I didn't know when I came back is when they actually told me. No, actually, when they came out of hospital is when finally Florence told me, wow. And I was like, what? Why? What happened? Of course, I started freaking out. I said, Mommy, that's what you see. That's why I didn't want to tell you. And now you realize that now she feels for you.
Exactly.
She feels for you. And for me, I'm like, if I can have that person who feels for me for my job and is willing to carry the burden for me so that I can be able to do my job well, really, isn't that your hero?
What more do you need?
Yeah, so I call her my unsung hero. And then the thing is, if you're bringing a maid into your home, let them be part of your whole life. For example, we celebrate Auntie Florence's birthday. Like all my maids, we've always celebrated their birthdays, you know. We have Wi-Fi at home. She's part of the Wi-Fi. You know, when I'm buying her a phone, I don't buy her a capability, and I buy her a smartphone.
Yeah.
Because you see, I'm like, she needs to leave this place better than she came.
Exactly.
So I buy her a smartphone. I show her how to use Wi-Fi. She knows, for example, and it's by the people who don't understand, but it's for your own interest, for your own good. And Florence Googles. You see the things she makes for those pancakes and
oh yeah,
she Googles. You know that Airtel advert right now is so true.
It's a lot of transformation, especially from the home she came from into yours.
Yes.
If she's a thankful person, she must be thankful.
No, you see, I don't really think it's really more about what platform have you put for her.
Exactly.
To never wish to leave your home. You know, it is to a point that my husband sometimes says, the day Florence leaves you. But no, I am so confident that I'm like she will literally tell me like a year before.
Oh yeah.
Because now she gets so worried. I was like, Mommy, if I leave you, you're going to die. She knows. So I think it's more of what platform have you put there for them to feel like they cannot hurt your child.
Or even yourself.
Yes. You remember, okay, most times it's really more about, because those things are more towards children, that they cannot hurt your child. You know? And I think really at the end of the day, what you say, when you're bringing a maid, remember you're bringing someone who is going to stand in the gap for you.
Filling the gaps.
Yes. So if you wouldn't do that to your sister, don't do it to her. If you wouldn't do that to yourself, don't do it to her.
If you wouldn't want something to happen to your mother, don't do it to them. Because now why I'm bringing in the mother, the person we have at home is in her 50s. And I refer to her as Mokade.
Mokade, yes.